2, 1, and we are live. Welcome to the Mastermind podcast, beautiful people. This is where we bridge the gap between creatives and the road to financial freedom. And what Masterminds essentially is those backdoor conversations from people really putting in that practice, putting in that purpose, putting in that persistence. And I am Veggies 3K, and I'm now on to the podcast. So let me just go ahead and do that. What's going on, beautiful people? Hi, Pam. What's
Hey,
good?
Brian, what's up? Hey, IG family, what's going on? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's the vibe. It's 2025.
2025. After weeks of preparing for 2025, it's here.
Yeah,
How you
what a
feeling?
what relieved? Like
Yeah.
relieved. December is such a rush. Is there such a rush to December? There's not that there's not enough time, but there's just not enough time in December. You're tying up loose ends. You're setting, well, not setting the agenda for the year, because we've been doing that since October, November. That's why you want to start early, right? Because once like you're really tying up the loose ends of December, it's too chaotic. So thinking ahead. But now I'm so relieved that we're here in January. Now things are like, this is where you let it all settle in while still
Yep.
steadily moving forward.
Yep. And December has so much, like if you're going to family parties, if you're getting ready for 2025, your Christmas shopping, right? There's so much going on for sure. It's cold in some places, so it's a different vibe, right? But I also feel, I like that you said a sense of relief. I'm also feeling a sense of relief for the new
Mm.
year. I'm also feeling that, like, okay, I planned enough. I feel ready. I have systems in place. I know what I got to do, and I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, how did you change your filter?
The little smiley face with the sparkles. So I just have this filter ready on hand. That's my digital marketing expertise. I got that on the.
I can't click on mine. I see it there, but I can't click on it.
Why is not?
I don't know. And I updated my phone too. I don't know why. It's all right. We don't have to go through the technical difficulties. I'll figure it out. But
Oh, well,
yeah.
I do want to say that IG Live has a feature where you can go on fake live, so you're not really on live, where you can then test the
Oh,
button. So if you want to go do that later, go ahead and do that, so you can figure that out.
that's a great. There's also a feature that you could test out a reel, right? You can fake post it.
Really?
Yeah, you can fake post it and see if you like it, see how it's it's
How it looks on the
interesting.
page. Okay,
Yeah, you
cool.
definitely gotta look into that. Definitely gotta look into that. But have you done all your baby showers?
No,
Okay.
we're we're on 1.5.
We're
One
on
and a
one
half
and a
left.
half.
I
Okay,
think I
okay.
was one is up in the air. I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, congratulations. You're about to be a dad in about a month.
In about a month. As a matter of fact, somebody told me that by next week the baby's ready at any moment. Like it'll be any
Really?
moment. Yeah, I think after like 36 or 37 weeks, the baby can show up at any time. So now it's just like
Okay.
readiness, preparedness time.
Ah, okay, you're on edge, right? Good thing you have systems in place. Good thing that you planned beforehand. And
Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
I will not lie. January 1st, we're talking about the first, well, not January 1st. I would say the December 31st, the night, New Year's Eve. I had the little tickles in my stomach. Like it was, wait a second. This is only 30 days from the projected. And then like in between, anything can be happening. And it's like the kind of like nervousness that you would get before like a psychedelic trip or some sort of roller coaster ride. You got the ooh kind of feeling.
That's an interesting analogy to becoming a parent. It's like
Yeah,
a
not that I know anything about that.
um
Is
that's
what I would
yeah,
assume.
Yeah, that's funny. That's interesting. Well, now that it is January 2nd, right? I actually have an exercise for everyone to do for the whole year. So it may sound like a lot because it's the whole year,
Okay.
but it's going kind of viral on Instagram. So I thought I'd share it here as well. I see you playing around with the features.
Sorry.
It's every
That
it's
was my fat thumb.
it's okay. It's every week on a post-it note, write down one good thing that happened to you in that week, like a good memory, and put it in a jar. I might put it. I feel like putting it in the jar. It's fun because then you can see it's kind of like a piggy bank. And
Yes.
then at the end of the year, you can read everything, like everything that went well throughout the year in minor details. Because sometimes when you look back and you're like, oh, what happened this year? Like what went well, what didn't go well? It's like a lot of things happen and then you don't remember like minor details. Like maybe I had a great brunch with my friends, right? Like small minor details and stuff like that. So Jay Shetty, I don't know if you know, I'm sure you know who Jay Shetty is.
Yes. Yes.
Jay Shetty, he actually mentioned that he made a reel about that, and then it started like going viral on my end, and I was like, oh, this is a great Masterminds podcast like year exercise.
Yeah. Like, you definitely gonna see how the compound interest on that gratitude, you know, by the end of the year, you open up that jar, you start flipping through 52 notes because it's 52
Yep,
weeks in a year. So 52 notes, 52 little moments every single week of, something special, something, because we forget about it, man. So like one thing I've been doing with the people I've met since I drive, I'm a driver in New York City. I get to meet people all the time. I get to talk to people all the time. So one thing that I've been doing for maybe the last 2 months, and even in this month, I ask people, well, what was the highlight of your year? What was the highlight of 2024 for you? And you get a mixed answers. Last podcast I said, you get some sad answers because like there's some people that have gone through a rough time and it's kind of nice to get that relief. Then you get people that have their highlight, but a lot of people react like, oh, what a good question, I haven't thought about that yet. Oh, like, I don't know, I haven't thought about that, give me a second, because you're just so busy doing things that you don't get that time to really look back at what your 365 days, you
that's
know
a lot of days.
that's a lot of
That's
days.
a lot of
you
days.
you you take for granted some of these like memories, and you kind of, if you don't take some time to reflect on it, um you're gonna fool yourself into thinking that your cup isn't full enough.
Yep. Yep.
You're gonna keep thinking that you're thirsty when it's like, no, yo, I really shared that experience with that person. Oh, I remember that moment that I had together. I had that moment of realization to myself and I started changing things,
Yep.
all these little moments, don't let it pass you by, don't take it for granted. So I really like your suggestion, Pam. It's a great suggestion, Pam. That's such a gift.
Yo, I really want to, and I really want to do it with a jar. Cause yeah, we could do it in a notebook, but I want to be able to like write it on a piece of paper or post a note and put it in the like fold it up and put it in the jar, and then like the last week of December, December 31st, like I open all of them and I can't wait for that. Like I want to be able to do that. So I want to hold, people who are listening to Masterminds podcast, people who are part of this community. I want to hold you guys accountable to that exercise because like Brian said that we our brains are wired to survive. Our brains are we have memory in order for us to be able to survive.
Yes.
So that's why we remember a lot of bad things and we have good memories too, but that's why like some bad memories, some trauma memories come up often because it's our brain telling us, "Hey, don't forget about this because we need to survive." Right?
Right.
So,
And can I add real quick?
yeah, you can add.
That's where a lot of the negativity on social media comes from, because what attracts our brain more than a train wreck, more than a disaster, more
Yeah.
than chaos, more than, mean things, nasty debates that have gone nasty on the internet, these moments where people are nasty to each other. We're attracted to that because we think that we're feeding our mind preparation for when things get bad. But what we're actually maybe increasing at the end of the day is the amount of negativity in our worldview, the paranoia, like the anxiety, the fearfulness of
Yep.
of life events.
Yep. So that's why it's important we do gratitude. We are aware, right?
Mhm.
That we remind ourselves of the good things in our life. It is a lot harder to be positive and optimistic than to be pessimistic in the beginning, right? If you are a person that's not genuinely happy, and I'm speaking this for myself, like I had to come to the realization, like, yo, I'm an unhappy person, right? I had to come, not
No, no,
now, but like,
I know what you're saying, but I'm like I'm in shock. Like yes, like really being able to look like because sometimes you don't feel it. When you're in it, sometimes you don't feel it. You only know it in
yes,
comparison to where you are.
yes, and coming to that realization, like, yo, I gotta change some things, like, and I'm not even gonna lie, like I think this dog, my new dog, definitely brought something out of me because in the beginning I didn't really want the dog.
Ah,
And I was like, I don't really, I don't really know if I want another dog. Like, we already have a dog, we have a cat, we have a part-time cat, right? I was like, I don't want a puppy. And so like the first few days our new dog was here, I was like, I don't know, I wasn't like that. I was a little bitter towards the dog, and then the dog is so happy to see me, like all day long. The dog follows me everywhere.
keeps
Like
that
not even Ellie.
consistent energy.
It's
The
like,
consistent energy of a dog is unmatched. The ability for a dog to keep that attitude, man.
yo, you can give a positive attitude like a puppy. Yo, you're gonna very far in life. Even though it's our dog, but Elliot's wanted the dog, right?
Yeah.
So she's so happy to see me. She sleeps at my feet when I'm doing Zoom calls. Like she's right here on my feet right now. Like she follows me everywhere. Not even Elias. Like she follows me. And and she's deaf. So there was one, I was in the kitchen and I was like, oh, and then I was like, yo, I'm being such a bitter person right now. Like, I'm like, I had to say that to myself. Like, Pamela, you're being bitter. Like the dog is happy to see you. So it was just like, even in moments of like, this is why personal development is so important because it's so easy to like be in a bad mood for no reason at
Yeah.
all, right? And I had to see myself, like, she's like, like all over the place, like want to run with me. And I was like, Pam, don't be a bitter person. Like the dog is deaf. She loves you. Like her being deaf, like as an extra, like cariño. I don't know how to say it in
Yeah, 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 yeah.
like, like as extra, like, oh, she needs love, right? I think she just spilled water on my feet talking about her.
Like these the dogs, like, especially because the dog is deaf and is also a baby, so you kind of have both things working for it. Where it's just like, yeah, I'm living off of love right now. I'm living off of the fact that I'm lovable, and I am going to work this energy so I could get my life on.
Yeah, that's like a small example of like I caught myself being bitter and unhappy, and I was like, all right, like that's the importance of the power of awareness. And I wanted to bring that up too because we've been talking a lot about goal setting,
Mhm.
accountability, right? Mentorship,
Mhm.
like the past few weeks. And I feel like how can you go from like where you are right now? Like let's talk about like old Pamela. Old Pamela was stuck. Old Pamela was smoking too much weed. Old Pamela was in pain in all areas of her life, right? How did how when I look back, like how did old Pamela turn into this new version? And it really started with the power of awareness. Like it really started with realizing like, oh, something has to
Mhm.
change, right? And I don't know, do you have something to say about that?
No, I'm just listening right now.
You're just listening right now.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about goals and all of that and set goals, but there was a statistic that I found interesting when I was looking up like New Year's fun facts. It was like 42% of Americans make goals, like write down their goals. Only 10% of those those people like actually achieve goals. Like it's almost like, oh, I'm just gonna make like a New Year's resolution and like it doesn't really matter. It's like January 3rd happens and it's like it flies out the window.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's like we can talk about goals, 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 but how can we get someone to like actually implement those goals?
that's
And
right.
it's like it comes down to like the person needing to realize and have the awareness that something has to change.
Yes,
Otherwise, it's like knocking a hammer into like a brick wall, right? It's like it's gonna be like I just came up with that analogy, but I felt like I needed to share that today because
hmm
obviously it's January 2nd, right? For me, it's like I feel a difference in the new year, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of like perception and the reality we live in because
yes, and we've been doing a good job as a collective because our team has put an emphasis on that change. The little changes that we do, we congratulate each other for milestones. We cast visions about where we're going and what's going to happen. We set agendas, we set themes for one another, and I find that it creates these doorways and vibes that we just move from one to another. For example, my girl Kellen just finished her boot camp, so I threw it up on the chat, put the little celebratory fireworks behind it, and then she got her first set of congratulations, and then we went onto the Telegram. She got her second sense of congratulations, and you know what? Like she finished it before we said anything, and it was real, and it was like, okay, cool, you're moving on to the next step, and now we can have a different conversation. But then now that the whole team is aware that the milestone has been complete, everybody celebrates. The joy, the feeling of that accomplishment has become more concrete because it's part of the paths and the achievements of our systems.
mm-hmm.
So, one thing I wanted to add, just to kind of take a couple steps back onto what we were talking about, the goal setting. Goal setting is amazing because we're setting the target for where we want to go. And, in Think and Grow Rich, there's the principle of autosuggestion. And the principle of autosuggestion, the purpose of it is, what is the minimum amount of effort that you can make a deposit in towards your dreams the minute that you have set that dream forward. The minute that you have set that goal forward, what is the minimum deposit that you can make? And the answer for Napoleon Hill, he was like, the first thing that you can do is remind yourself of it every day. Right?
Yeah,
Make your goal a one sentence thing, right? Make it a one sentence phrase and write that one sentence down every
yep,
single day until you've created, like it's like collecting spare change and putting it into a piggy bank, only to like create. Right now I'm creating that resonance between the gratitude notes
yep,
and the piggy bank. Yeah, it's like putting little quarters in a piggy bank, that just writing down my goals. Like, for example, how much, you can say money, but let's leave it out of money because we're like creatives. I want to say, okay, my goal is to perform in front of 15 people this year, right? So I am happy and grateful now that I'm performing in front of 15
yep,
people. So now you write that down every single day as if you are that person. With that auto suggestion, you'll find yourself finding those opportunities, meeting the people, because now you're tuning your awareness. If the minimal thing that you can do for your goal without even taking any other action is remind yourself
yep.
that you want this every single day until your subconscious mind starts to perceive those opportunities and then act on those opportunities. And I'm giving away too much sauce, so I'm gonna give it back to you. What do you think?
No, no, that was I'm listening. I'm
Too much
listening. That's 100%
sauce.
true. That's 100% true that we have to remind ourselves. And that's why having like a goal card. I actually have it's not really a card, it's a piece of paper, but I have it taped right next to my bed. So when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I look at as I read it. Before I go to bed, I can read it. It's like right there, it's taped. So when I put my phone down, if it was up to me, I would take affirmations all over the house, but I did that once, and my boyfriend was like, "This, what do you think
Put
this
it
is?" Like,
put it in secret places. Put it in secret places. So now it's just a game of like, okay, I'm not aesthetically blocking things, but I'm just gonna go like, let me just look behind this cookie jar real quick. Ooh,
that
like
is true.
hide it so that you find it.
That's a great. I'm gonna put it in secret places. He came home one day. I had it everywhere. I think I were like my goals in like 10 different pieces of paper. I put like 2 on the fridge, on each side of the fridge. I put one in the bathroom when you use the bathroom. I put one next to the bathroom mirror. I put one in the kitchen. He came home like, "What is this?" So I was like, okay. I put them in my studio, right? And I put them next to my bed, you know. And he mentioned the one next to my bed, and I was like, "It's on my side of the bed."
This is my
This
space
is
right
my
here.
side of the bed,
Yeah, yeah.
right? It seems crazy and it seems wild, but you gotta remind yourself, like Brian said, like you have to remind yourself consistently of your goal, or else you're not gonna remember. I mean, you can't just write it down one time. Or matter of fact, some people only think about them. They never even take the step to talk about it and then write it down,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Uh,
then
uh,
remind themselves daily as well.
another one that kind of adds right there, writing your vision script of the world that you would want to live in with all the attributes, the clothing that you're wearing, the people that you're meeting, the activities that you're doing, the money that you have, the
Yeah.
the plans that you have at that moment, like the aspirations of that one, like of that person, like you're having an aspiration. What are the aspirations of the person in the future? So start like thinking about that at the same time too. So write all of that down as a script, and then record it on voice notes or your voice memos, and play it back every morning. In the morning, play it back every morning. Play it back every night.
I
In the
haven't
night, play it every
done
night.
that. That's something I
You
should do.
know, and then so now you could play your favorite movie. This is your favorite movie. You wrote it, you star, you directed it. That is your favorite mental movie, and you could go play that TV. This your goal, your vision for your future should be. I hate shitting on people because should this, but your vision and the thing that you want to do, the thing that you want to accomplish, should be your favorite story, should be your favorite movie. You should want to hear that over and over and over again. Like, tell me that, like, bring yourself back to when you're 3 years old. Hey, daddy. Hey, mommy. Tell me that story again. I want to hear
Yeah.
that story again. Do that for yourself, tell the story of like how you are the hero, how you accomplish these things, how you feel while you're living the life that you dream of,
I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I see that I see you're definitely prepared for fatherhood because you make a lot of analogies with kids. You're definitely prepared.
I'm very
I'm gonna go
childlike.
ahead and do that. I'm gonna make sure that I do that this week. And be very intentional and listen to it with my own voice again and again. That's a great idea. In addition to like the gratitude, the gratitude notes in your jar once a week,
Hmm.
and make sure you set a reminder for that as well because you can
Mm.
easily forget. Pick one day out of the week. January 1st was what day? Tuesday? Wednesday?
Yes.
No,
No. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So next Wednesday there should be one note in the jar of something good that happened this week. And I love that. I love the idea of the voice note. I'm excited to do that.
Are you
That's a
keeping me?
great
Are
idea.
you trying to keep me accountable to this jar thing? Am I gonna have to do it with you now? It
I'm
sounds
trying
like
to keep everyone
I know,
accountable
I
to
know,
the
but now
jar.
it's starting to seem like it's live, and now I have to do it. Okay, we're doing it.
Can
We're
you
doing it.
hold me accountable to do the voice memo?
Absolutely, 100%. And then also this new one, this secret one that we can't reveal to you, the one that I texted, we were talking about from
Yes.
the last meeting. Well, Matt
Yep.
Rose's affirmation vision. We need to start voice memoing that every day to one another. Like
Yes.
that's 100. That's non-negotiable, Pam. We talked about not the team talked about non-negotiables today. Neno was on this call talking about non-negotiables. That's a non-negotiable. If we're building the business that we're building, we need to remind ourselves of that vision every
Of
single
why we're
day.
doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher, that's what they did. Whenever they were on a mission, they usually choose like a 14-month mission, 12-month mission, 14-month, I would say. They would write down their mission statement 3 times and voice record it and send it to each other
Wow.
every morning to each other. every morning to each other. Lately, I've been doing a lot of repetitions for emphasis because
Oh
I don't know if you know about.
no, you
I
froze.
froze my
All right,
battery low, but you know,
you're good.
I don't know if you've ever seen Dr. Umar Johnson.
No, I haven't.
Oh man, he's so funny. I'm gonna send you some videos. He's like a hotep kind of guy, right? So he's always repeating things. Like he's very repetitive online, and it just one, it works for online, but two, when it comes to this neuro linguistic programming that we're trying to get into, you know, like programming
Yeah.
our energy. We're programming our energy ultimately, you know. So you know that's that. So yeah, I'll show you the videos. You're gonna get. Kellen has been sending me Umar Johnson memes. It's been so funny
Yeah, you
lately.
gotta send me some. You know what you should do? You should implement that in the
What?
chat, writing down your voice recording, your goal, and sending it.
The Telegram? You know
Yeah.
what I've been thinking? These are different scattered thoughts. I have a couple things. So like right now I have, since Nano has set the tone that psycho-cybernetics is the book of the month or book of the this moment.
And
I'm
that's
so,
like your favorite book.
that's like my favorite book. My marketing mind already started spinning its hamster wheel, and I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna earn the respect of and the admiration of the team by doing a YouTube series on that book. So I already started sketching out, and I'm gonna actually talk about that in the leadership chat, the leadership
Okay.
meeting we have after this. I'm going to talk about how that's kind of my goal for this next 30 to 60 days. I want to really go heavy on psycho-cybernetics because one, my favorite book, it's already something I'm working on. Two, the team now it's relevant within our environment. And then by me doing it, I'm also making it relevant within our outer circle. So within our inner circle, it's relevant. So now I'm marketing myself within the inner circle where it's like, oh, who's this guy dropping his YouTube videos about psycho-cybernetics in the chat? You know, I'm being open source and just telling everybody my secret plan. That's not so secret. But if you know, yeah, and then the outer circle also is gonna benefit by watching those videos, and just it becomes the vibration that you're putting out there.
Yep.
And Nano did me this amazing, you know, like when you play basketball and alley oop, he just threw the ball up there for me to just go ahead and slam it in
Yep.
as a marketer, as somebody who wants to sell you on these good ideas. You know, like you know,
Yep.
everybody sells. I'm gonna be able to really take advantage of the energy that he set, you know, and that really sparked my brain about how important it is to have a leadership that, you know, like just a good leadership, like a good leadership hierarchy, you know, because like Nano being what I'm guessing he's the chairman, right? He sets the tone for all of us, and then it trickles down, and then whatever you're working with, whatever is being worked, you could take advantage of the fact that everybody's resonating on that, making those things that much more powerful,
Yep.
you know. And then, you know, it's a hierarchy of leadership,
Yep.
and from there the waves and projects outwards, and everybody gets a little piece of that good energy.
Yep,
Whew.
yep. Now that we're on a little bit of that topic, I just want to say how proud I am of you for like coming in hot, right? Coming in hot, coming in ready, right? Ready to work, ready to be a leader and stepping in that role. And how do you feel? It's a little bit. This is like a this is really masterminding right here, right? We're going from one topic to the next.
Yeah.
It's just flowing, but how do you feel stepping into a leadership role? And have you ever thought that that would be something that excited you?
100%. I feel like I've always had a leadership quality to me. It's just more about, I guess, structure. I've always had the direction in heart, but I guess it was like more about structure. So for me to be a good leader, I needed to find good leaders to duplicate. So the minute that, you know, you plugged me in, the first thing you did was remove some of my limiting beliefs about where I had to be and the things that I had to do. And then you also gave me the toolbox, which is like, oh, you can look at this. There's a whole a treasure trove of tools that can help you be a leader really quickly. You know, so if that's what you're into, I'm like, I'm totally into that. Cause like the whole reason I'm an artist is because I want to have an opinion and a voice within the culture in the direction of culture.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean in the mainstream culture. I'm not here to combat the mainstream culture. I'm talking about the culture of the people that you meet, the people that you care about, all those things, you know, like the ability to have a say. Hold on. Sorry. I can't unplug my phone.
It's
Um,
cool.
but yeah, like the ability to, you know, put out positive options in your environment, you know, positive pathways that people can go ahead and take and see transformation in their lives. So, you know, thank
Yeah.
you so much for that. So how do I feel about it? What's it? So, you know, I've had leadership roles before, but the way I feel about it right now is like I haven't met, like I've been meeting a lot of like stretching, like I've been stretching myself. Like I came into the situation hot and very, like you said, hot and very like fast. Like I did things very, very quickly. I'm trying to find like the really hard limitations on myself, because lately, and with your assists, I've been stretching fast and far and wide, and I'm like, yo, things that I feel like are limiting beliefs, you just kind of move them right out of my way. And I'm just like, I'm still going, I'm still achieving, I'm still getting these like wins. And the reason why I have been getting them is because one, I was prepared, I was
Yeah.
preloaded, but then the only thing stopping the energy from channeling all the way through was those shadows that we always talk about, the things that I can't see, the things
Yeah.
that I that the auto suggestions that are not working within myself, and then you present your alternative suggestions, and then I agree with you, and then I take it to the next step, and I take it to the next step, and it's been working, and I've to me it's been feeling great and resonant. It's like, you know, when you hear a symphony harmonize
Mm-hmm.
at an opera,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
It's like you're in the right place at the right time,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you're excited, right? And that's like that excitement is contagious, right? When you're excited, right? And you go, it's like if you, I don't know if you ever saw that video of, it was like it was a train cart, and everyone in the train cart was like all serious, and there was a guy that just came into the cart and he just started laughing, like he was just laughing by himself, like really loud, really obnoxious, right? Just laughing, and everyone just started staring at him. And for a while, they're just staring at him. And then he doesn't stop laughing. He doesn't stop laughing. And then one girl starts chuckling. She starts chuckling like under her like hand, right? So she starts chuckling, and then another person starts chuckling, and by the end of the video, everyone is laughing for no reason. It's just the fact that one guy came into the train cart laughing, and it was so contagious. It's really hard to ignore someone who is excited, someone who is happy, someone who's genuinely like sharing energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I could definitely like feel your energy coming in, excited, right? Ready to hit milestones, ready to go after your goals. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that,
Yeah.
because
Thank you so much. And I guess jumping off what you just said, it's like, it's that, you know, authenticity and that genuine energy really sets the norm. So he came in and just cut through the norm of like, oh, the train is supposed to be this serious place where nobody cracks a smile. Everybody's got to be on the edge, and you know, and then when other people start to join in, it's all about giving permission. So
yeah,
there's really this big, like now you're kind of really making my mind like turn on this idea where it's just like, what kind of permissions do we need? Because we need people need permission. We need that permission. We're looking for
yeah,
permission.
that's true. And it's probably because of the way we were schooled, right? We were schooled with raise your
Mm.
hand. We were schooled with, and it all makes sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we were schooled with needing to ask for
Mm-hmm.
permission. So it makes sense that there are people like community and like-minded individuals who are all working towards a mission
Mm-hmm.
together and who hold you accountable and push you out of your comfort zone is so valuable, because like you said, it does give you permission to dream big,
Yes.
to dream wild, to go after goals that you think are impossible or were impossible, right? So it is true that, like, I've heard you say the word permission many times before, and it is very true that yeah, that's part of your, the word permission is a strong word in your
I didn't
vocabulary. I've noticed that. So um it's true that when you come into a space that feels like home, that feels like you're meant to be there, and that encourages you to like get out of your comfort zone, it is giving you permission to dream and be creative and work, because working on your goals is a creative endeavor, you know, for our artists out here. It's a creative endeavor. I mean, like painting, I need to envision something before the paint goes on the canvas. So it's the same thing as envisioning our reality, right? Creating our reality, creating what we want, right? And a lot of the times when you when you when I feel like I'm having a creative block, I just have to like give myself the permission to like cut through the cut through the threshold and do something crazy or wild. Or like recently I had a painting I was working on, a big painting on the wall, and it's in
Mhm.
like some of my photos on IG. I ended up cutting that painting into 4 pieces, and now I'm like, oh, what did I feel good about the decision, but I was like, that is a very bold, it's a very bold, it's a very wild. It's like I was thinking about it. I was like, no, don't do that, Pamela. You're gonna like ruin the painting, and then you're gonna say, why'd you do this? Because you've done this before. And the feeling didn't go away, and I was like, F it. I'm just gonna cut the painting. Like I don't want to see it, right? It was like I needed to step outside of my comfort zone and give myself that permission. I went a little bit on a tangent, but I
No,
hope
no,
it
no,
makes
no.
sense.
I wanted to add, like, maybe next time, I can't imagine what the shape of the piece is, but maybe instead of squares, circles next time.
Yeah, I was thinking of circles too, or some odd shape or
So,
something.
since we're on the subject, Serendipity gave me a gift about 2 days ago. So I found this book, Emergenetics.
Okay.
Interesting book. Oh my God. Let's get into it real quick. Just really fast. People really enjoyed it. I shared with people it on my stories yesterday, asking them, oh, what do you think you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so it basically talks about the 4 different types of thinking that we have. And we can be all 4, like maxed out on all 4, maybe like 3 out of whatever, but there's a dominant tendency. So the 4 types of thinking, and then 3 kinds of actions. So behaviors. So the 4 is analytical and conceptual, which are the abstract ones,
Okay.
right? Analytical being logic, abstract, like reason, logic. Conceptual being intuitive, abstract.
Okay.
Like I'm feeling it out. I'm kind of reaching into an intuitive space as a conceptual person. Analytical is I'm trying to figure out what is. I'm trying to understand. It's very about being abstract about tangible things. Then the concrete section is structural and social. Structural things, social people. And the
Yeah.
difference is uh logical concrete is structural, meaning like building buildings, building systems, things that are concrete, systematic things. Social intuitive is about the social, us, people, feelings, being about people. So those are the 4 types of thinking. And so, like when I said squares instead of circles, we're talking 2 conceptual people, from one conceptual person to another conceptual person, because we define ourselves as artists. I asked people on my story, and most people said conceptual people. And if not, they're conceptual, they're analytical. Those are the type of people I attract, because I
Yeah.
definitely I attract people based on abstract things a lot of the time. Like, hey, can we hang out in the abstract? We're friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's more my tendency. Like, oh, you want to talk logic? I got some logic. I was supposed to go to law school. Oh, you want to
Yeah.
talk conceptual? I'm a musician. I am an artist. I am a theorist. Spiritual, philosopher, all types of those things. I'm conceptual. I kind of struggled a little bit with social, and I even struggled a little with structural for a little while. I'm if you guys subscribe to astrology, I'm an air sign, so I'm just very airy in that way. So that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
share. I kind of went on a tangent a little
No,
bit, but I,
no,
I
it's
was excited
okay.
because
It's all
people were
part
excited.
of it.
But and as you can see it's got the color theory on it too,
That's
a little bit.
a really good. That looks like a really good book. How did you come across it?
So around New York City, there's these library cases that people drop a book off, pick a book up. So
Yeah.
I constantly am looking at those books because I got this Napoleon Hill book from there. I got this what was it? One of the last leadership calls, they said that the original
Think and Grow
Think and
Rich.
Grow Rich was this book right here, The Laws of Success, 16 lessons, complete. What's really funny is it's more of a manuscript. There's kind of like, they say complete, it's a little incomplete. You could tell it's incomplete, like it didn't go through the editor to kind of flesh it out. But a lot of the stuff there is very, very valuable. You know,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow,
very,
look at
very
that.
valuable.
New York City's New Yorkers helping other New Yorkers with the books.
It's real, yo, and that's what Earl Nightingale says in The Strangest Secret. Some of the best things in life are free.
Yes.
They're right in front of you. Yo, people who are, it's funny, right? Billionaires can get like their bad rap. I understand why. But the New York Public Library was funded by the Carnegies and people like
Yep.
that, who just like won the game and decided to create institutions for people to, use them. And then is our job to keep up the upkeep of it. But yeah, the library was my favorite place. I dropped out of college for like a semester because I just wanted to go read books in a library because I'm just like, yo, this is the prime of my life, my early 20s, right? Like not the prime, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like this energetic time in my life. You're feeding me all this stuff in these books. I am not engaged right now. I need to drop out. It was a bold move. I need to get off this conveyor belt and I
Yeah.
need to go read some things that I want to read. I need to just read poetry, read like medical books because I want to learn about the body.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kurt Cobain used to use Grey's Anatomy to write his music, things like that. So like I wanted to just go explore because the school system was like I was tired of it already. I'm 21, 20,
Yeah.
21, and I'm like I gotta go put some stuff in my head that I want.
Exactly. I think you turned out fine dropping out of school. Not saying that we're here
No, I
to
went back. I
help you
went
for the
back.
job. Ah, you
I
went
went
back.
back. I went back. The way I convinced myself to go back is I'm like, well, I can finish this and there's girls there. You see more girls.
Wow, okay.
There's girls there.
The old Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually the public library, I came across a post that was like, if the public library didn't exist yet and the idea of funding a public library was a new topic, people would call it like a conspiracy theory or like it would be controversial. It would be like, what are you doing, right? And really and truly the public library, and my issue with the public library always was, I think that's something, the library card. I think when I was a child, I didn't give back books. I don't remember what happened. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened.
Oh no.
I don't know what happened, but I used to go to the library and read books there and all of that. And it is true that it's free, and there's a lot of people that don't use the public library at all. Like at all. And it's a place to study. I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. I can hear you. I
Can
don't
you
know
hear me
what
now?
happened. I can hear you now.
My fat thumb pressed the mic
It's all right. You gotta tell that fat thumb to get out of the way. All right.
to go on the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
Go keto, fat thumb. I got
Yup.
my thumb's got to go on keto.
But talking about books, now, well, I'm reading Unshakable by Tony Robbins, and I'm also listening to the audiobook No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That's definitely a book I'm gonna have to listen to twice because there's like questions at the end, and I've been listening to it while cooking and stuff. I'm being intentional while listening to it, but I do feel like it's a book that I would listen to twice. And now with Psycho Cybernetics, I'm like, oh, am I about to read like 3 books at one time? Because Psycho Cybernetics has been on my list for a while, and I think it's time that I also read it. So what I want to be held accountable for is to make sure that I finish those 3 books.
Yes.
Before I talk about a 4th book, if you hear me talking about a 4th book,
It's funny
you have permission to stop
it's
me
funny
in
you
my
should
tracks.
say it's funny you should say because I was just about to recommend the book for you.
I don't wanna,
for the
I don't wanna-
podcast. For the
All
podcast.
right,
We got one for our
the
team.
podcast.
No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
What's the book that you would
No,
recommend? Are you just
I was
kidding?
just joshing.
I don't want any more book. I don't want to read any more books until I'm done with those 3 books. I feel like one thing that I need to work on is finishing a book before starting a new book, because I don't have the physical copy. If I have the physical copy, it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to finish it. I think it's just, I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know why, but it's also common sense because it's something you're
Mhm.
feeling. But where I live in the jungle, like waiting 1 month for like a book when I could just have it on Everend, you know, the
Mhm.
app, and
Mhm.
you know, listen to it or read it on there. It's a lot more simple.
Mhm.
And also being able to lay in bed and read in the dark because you're reading on your phone is really
Mhm.
clutch.
So I passed by. You see those little quarter turning things that drop a little ball with toys in it?
Yeah,
A vending machine,
yeah,
a
yeah.
toy vending machine.
You recently used it?
I recently used it because they had a finger flashlight. I left it in my car, but it's like this little device that you put a piece of rubber band on your pointer finger, and it's a flashlight. So I'm like,
That's cool.
like it's
Did you
funny.
get it the first time you put your money in, or did you like
The
put
whole
money
thing
in until you
had
got
it
it?
was only that in that
Oh,
one. So it's funny.
okay.
We went to a thrift shop to go give some clothes away. I go in there and I see it, and I only have 50 cents. So I come back out into the car and I'm like, Helen, can I get 50 cents, please? She's like, why do you need 50 cents, please? Don't worry about it. She gives me 50 cents. I go back in there and I come back with like, she's like, what'd you get? I'm like, nothing. And I'm like, got the little
Oh
toy.
my
And it's like
gosh.
a kid all over
You
again. You know,
know,
I'm back in kid mode.
you know what that reminds me? There's a quote that's like, the key to a relationship is not to find someone to grow old with, but to find someone you can stay a child with. And the stories I hear with you and Kellen definitely sound like you guys are keeping like the childlike fun, right,
Hmm.
in the relationship as well. That's the
Yeah,
side
yeah.
note.
Yeah, I can't, but we also see each other as grandpa and grandpa,
I
which is really funny. Like
can see that too.
we kind of time travel. We're living in like 3 timelines in one. Not
You're
gonna
like
lie to
living
you.
in 3 time zones at once.
Yeah, yeah. Like sometimes we're like kids. Sometimes we're like grandpa and grandma already.
Oh, that's
It's a
sweet.
little personal, but you know,
Yeah, yeah,
shout
yeah. Well,
out to
sometimes
y'all.
we get a little personal on the
Mm-hmm.
on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast. But
Mm-hmm.
what else? What else did we? I
I'm
think we pretty much got it.
Yeah, not for nothing. This podcast is really clip heavy. Like we have dropped some gems. This one,
So many clips.
but
We could
by
get
the
so
way,
many reels out of this.
yeah, this is like your move.
Also, since we are masterminding, I was gonna tell you this after the call, but I'll tell you now. I do know an app where you could just drop the video and it creates the reels for you. So either if you want me to do that to like
Hmm.
post it on IG, then I gotta be able to get the download.
Yeah, we need to figure out a file transfer system. I
Maybe
mean,
Google Drive.
huh? I
Google
mean,
Drive.
Google Drive, we transfer possibly. Does we
Oh,
transfer?
I haven't used WeTransfer in a while. WeTransfer could work.
We'll give it a try. We're testing. We're doing
Because
it.
then if you give me the file, I can,
Yeah,
you know, upload it.
because my girl, if I take another online job, I'm gonna get her so upset. Like, if Brian, why are you always on that damn phone? I mean, you're the same way too. Like, you got the same exact thing. So, but we gotta, I'll do
Yeah,
it
yeah. Well,
sometimes.
AI is gonna make the videos for us. It's gonna create the clips for us. So
Yeah.
that takes away 90% of the heavy work.
No, 100%. Like, even with the captions and everything, like the.
I don't know about the captions. Possibly. I think
Okay.
so. I
Okay.
think so. I remember Tia. I was on a call and she was talking about it, and there was there was it can be captions, everything. The little bio at the bottom, right? AI can literally do everything. Obviously, we're gonna put our own touch to it. However,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We just. I mean that because you have to, right? You can't
you
do
gotta put your own
automation.
touch to it.
You got to put that human feel.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I really appreciate everyone who, you know, is listening to this live or, you know, in the recording. If you are listening to this on Spotify, I think you can leave comments on Spotify if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you can.
Please leave a comment, right? Like the podcast, and share this with someone. Always share this with someone that you feel might resonate. Maybe needs a little laugh, maybe wants to play this on the background, right? While you're painting,
Oh,
while you're washing
I want to say
dishes.
one thing. I want to add. Me and Pam each are accepting 5 students. So anybody who wants to come and join and be a student, you can just inquire us on the DMs.
Yep. We are accepting, so we do personal mentorship calls where we can talk about your goals, goal setting, 1 month goal, 3 month goal, 6 month goal, action plan, schedule, budgeting, what you need help with. I mean, we can definitely cover that. If you want to learn how to create an online store, if you want to learn how to grow your social media, maybe 2025 is the year you want to start investing and into crypto, into stocks, into indices, right? We can help you with a multitude of things. And so definitely you can either DM us individually or DM us in our Instagram, which this will be posted on as well, which is Masterminds with
All
Us.
right, let's go, Pam. Another successful episode. We love you
Another
guys.
successful episode.
Catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the next one. Have a great night,
Bye, night.
guys. Or evening or morning.
Yeah.
Bye.